Hi guys, welcome back. It's Frenchie with Karen, and in today's video we're going to be specifically looking at l'imparfait. Now, if you don't know what is l'imparfait, that's completely okay, because in this video we'll try and approach the idea of the imperfect tense in a more holistic manner. Now, if you don't know what is the imperfect tense, I would advise you to look at a video that I've created before, which was the 10 tenses that I have explained in about 15 minutes. So that is a great way to get a heads-on idea of what the imperfect tense is. However, let's say if you're not willing to do that, that's completely okay, because I will try my best to explain the imperfect tense as much as possible. Now, before I really delve into my video, I really like to advise you to subscribe my YouTube channel, because on my channel, I will be explaining loads of different tips and tricks for you to excel in your French examination, especially your AS level examination. So if that's something you're looking out for, do make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video and share it to as many people as possible. So moving straight on into today's video, which is the imperfect tense, there is a series of different things that I wanted to mention, and I really hope that you will find this helpful. So the imperfect tense are basically things that are happening in the past for an ongoing period of time. For example, I was reading a book when he entered the room. So was reading is the imperfect tense. So imperfect tense, as I would usually say, is something that is the past progressive. Okay, or you can also say past continuous. So either one of the two would be a nice way to explain the idea of l'imparfait, because we want to explain the idea of past progressive when you're doing something for a long period of time in the past. So I was reading, you were speaking. Okay, so the idea of was and were plus the present participle in the ing is extremely essential for you to understand the meaning of. Okay, so another example here I've mentioned is I was reading when you called. So you called is the portrait, and it's also known as le passé composé. Okay, so the idea of imperfect is more like the past continuous, whereas the passé composé is something that just happened at that specific moment. So when something happens at a specific moment, you would use the past tense, whereas something that is happening for a continuous amount of time, you would use l'imparfait. So that is extremely important for you to understand. In the second example, you can see he broke his arm while he was snowboarding. So you see the word was. That is a hint that this is your imperfect, because it's your past progressive. So here you would see it's imperfect, and this one is going to be your passé composé. Okay, so in general, I would say that is generally the definition of l'imparfait. So after better understanding the definition, it is more or less very important for you to know how to use l'imparfait. So usually you would take the new form of the verb. So let's say if our verb is chanter, or maybe let's make it a little bit easier. Let's say it is danser. Okay, so the new form of danser is nous dansons. Okay, nous dansons. So the new form here is dansons. We will take our verb and we're going to remove the ONS, and we will replace it with the relevant endings. For example, je dansais. So this is the relevant endings. Another example that I can give you, which I would say is not a very regular example. So this is the irregular one. So it's a very big exception, which is être. Okay, so in être, it will be nous sommes. However, we will not be using some anywhere in our imperfect tense. So that is very important for you to be able to grasp and understand. So we will be using it. So this is the stem of our imperfect. For example, j'étais, tu étais, il était, nous étions, nous étions, vous étiez, and of course, il était. Okay, so that is the idea of the irregular one. Now for l'imparfait, the only irregular one that you will see is être. Okay, so that is the only common one that you need to be able to focus on. The rest of them are more or less regular, so that's nothing to worry about. Now, imparfait, there is 4 major situations in which you should be using l'imparfait. So pour une action en cours quand une autre action a eu lieu. So quand tu as téléphoné, je dormais. Okay, so when you called, I was sleeping. So again, notice the past progressive is in the imperfect tense, which is something that you should be focusing on. Now, I was reading a book when you called me. Okay, so again, very, very essential pieces of knowledge to be able to understand. Now, when 2 actions happens at the same time in the past, that is also the point where you would be able to use l'imparfait. So, il lisait pendant que j'écrivais. So, they were reading when I was writing. So, when 2 actions happen simultaneously, that is also a point when you use l'imparfait. Something that is used to be a habit, because the habit used to repeat a number of times. So when something used to be a habit in the past, you would also use l'imparfait. Okay? For example, you can say, je me suis brossé chaque semaine l'année dernière. So I used to brush my teeth every day, every week, last year. So that is very, very important for you to understand. When you're using the word depuis, okay, depuis, you want to make sure that the word before depuis is also imperfect. So they were waiting since an hour and 15 minutes when I had arrived, okay? So remember, je suis, because maybe je is a female, feminine, that's why you add an extra e over here. I do hope that makes sense, and those are like the major 4 situations in which you would be using l'imparfait. Now, some of the verbs have special sort of relationships, and I want to mention a specific one, as I've shown on the screen, is étudier, to study. Okay, the new form is étudiant. Okay, and then when you're trying to use this into imparfait, you want to remove the ONS, so it will become je étudie, tu étudies, il étudie, and then nous étudions with a double I. And why is that? I will mention it in a second. Vous étudiez, il étudier. Now, very important pieces of information. Now, note that because before the ONS we had E with an accent, TU, D, and I. That's why we will remain and keep that stem throughout the entire sort of conjugation. And again, the imperfect endings are highlighted in blue. AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, AIENT. Okay? So that is very important for you to grasp. But now notice this I is not belonging to the blue part. This I, in fact, belongs to the I. So it belongs to this part. So that's the idea of the overall conjugation over here. Now, those were the major sort of concepts I wanted to mention regarding the idea of imperfect tense. And if you found this helpful, do make sure to subscribe to this channel, like this channel, and share it with as many people as possible, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we can help as many people as possible. If you found this video helpful, again, subscribe. And if you have any other possible suggestions that you want to give me about next possible videos, make sure to comment down below, because that'd be a huge motivation for me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!